dying dog hugged his owner. Then the vet noticed something odd. By the time the sliding doors hissed open, the clinic had gone quiet in that way rooms do when worry walks in first. He carried her, an old golden retriever wrapped in a faded blanket, like you carry something that used to be light. "My dog, Maggie. She just collapsed," he said. His name was Aaron. He hadn't slept. They cleared a table. Dr. Layla Chen, night shift vet with the calm that makes other people borrow it, checked Maggie's gums, heart, eyes. Aaron hovered inches away, one hand on Maggie's shoulder like he could hold her to this side of the world. "Maggie, hey girl, stay with me," he whispered. Maggie didn't look at Dr. Chen. She looked up at Aaron. Then she did something that froze everyone. She pushed herself toward him, weak, shaking, and pressed her chest to his, head tucked beneath his chin. A hug. Not needy. Protective. She held him there and wouldn't let go. "Let me examine, sweetheart," Dr. Chen said softly, easing Maggie back. The dog resisted, paws scrabbling for Aaron's shirt, nails catching cotton. For a second, Aaron swayed like he might fall. Layla frowned. Odd. Dogs in distress curl into themselves, hide, go still. They don't hug, and if they do, it's to ask for help. But Maggie wasn't asking. She was insisting. Vitals, normal. Heart, steady. Temperature, a touch low, not dangerous. Hydration, borderline, nothing here screamed collapse. Layla lifted her eyes to the owner. Aaron stood too straight, breathing shallow. Sweat beaded his forehead though the waiting room AC was set to complaint. His lips looked a shade paler than his face. "Any exposures? Toxins? Did she eat something?" Layla asked. "No," he said, voice thin. "She was fine at dinner." Then she sat down. Wouldn't get up, like she wanted to come here. Maggie's nose found his chest again, not random, left of center. She pressed her paw there and stared at Layla as if to say, "Here. This is the problem." Layla's stomach tightened. Her father had been a cardiologist. House always smelled like coffee and EKG paper. She knew the look of a person trying very hard to pretend they weren't dizzy. "Aaron," she said gently, "how do you feel? Lightheaded? Any pain?" "It's nothing. Just tired. Please, help her. Let me check your pulse." She said it like a suggestion, already reaching. His wrist felt cool. The rhythm under her fingers stumbled, caught, then hurried to hide the trip. Irregular. Too fast. She glanced at Maggie. The dog's eyes never left the spot beneath her hand. "Do you have a history of heart issues? Diabetes?" "No." "When did you last eat?" He blinked, searching the day. "Lunch? I skipped dinner. We had a long shift." He worked nights at the airport. He said it like an apology to the room. Layla met her tech's eyes. O2 and glucose on him. "Now, I'm fine," he started, but his knees disagreed. He grabbed the edge of the table. Maggie tightened her hug, and he stayed upright. In the pulse oximeter clipped to his finger flashed numbers that didn't belong to a comfortable man. The glucometer beeped. Not diabetic, not a crash. Still wrong. "Aaron, I'm going to do something odd," Layla said, lifting her stethoscope. "I'm going to listen to you." He gave a small, embarrassed laugh. "I came here for my dog." "I noticed," she said, and set the bell to his chest where Maggie had pressed her paw. There it was. A murmur under the baseline, a syncopation that didn't ask permission. She tapped the tech's shoulder. "Call 911, describe chest pain with arrhythmia. He's pale and diaphoretic. Aspirin, 325, chewable." "What? No, Aaron protested. But he took the tablets because Maggie's eyes said, "Please," in a language older than arguments. Layla stripped her voice of fear. "Maggie's okay enough to wait." "You might not be. Sit. I can't leave her." "You're not leaving. You're going next door," she said, nodding towards the human emergency department that shared the building. "We're literally a wall away. We'll watch her. Maggie thumped her tail once, relieved. She leaned back just enough to let the paramedics slide a portable monitor across Aaron's chest. The paper printed a story in sharp little teeth. ST changes. Not textbook dramatic, but not innocent either. The medic looked at Layla. She didn't nod. She didn't need to. The dog had already told them. They wheeled him out with Maggie pacing beside the gurney, leash held by Layla, who bent to Aaron's ear. Look at her. She's not panicking. Trust that. At the hospital, the EKG got louder. Enzymes. They have a way of telling the truth after your mouth stops. A cardiology resident said the words no one had wanted but everyone had prepared for. NSTEMI. A heart attack that wasn't the headline grabber kind, but still the kind that could turn nights into anniversaries you don't celebrate if you ignore them. They threaded a wire up an artery, placed a stent like a tiny prop to hold a stubborn door open, and the rhythm under Aaron's ribs remembered itself. It took hours and 5 signatures. It felt like 5 minutes and 1 very long breath. Back at the clinic, Maggie lay on a blanket near the staff desk. Every time the triage phone rang, her ears flicked toward the wall they shared with the ER. When the call finally came, stable, procedure done, he's asking for the dog, she stood without being asked. 2 days later, Aaron walked into the clinic with hospital tape still clinging to his arm. Maggie bounced like a dog half her age and pressed her head, gently this time, to the place left of center. He laughed, the kind that breaks and fixes something at once. You knew. Layla smiled. She didn't collapse. She sat down and refused to move until you brought her where someone would listen. He shook his head, amazed by a truth you can't argue with. I thought she was dying. Sometimes the sickest one in the room is the person holding the leash, Layla said. And sometimes the bravest doctor doesn't have a degree. He brought flowers because TV had taught him that's what you do when people keep you alive. Layla accepted them because TV had taught her the same. But she pointed at the jar on the counter labeled Strays and Seniors Fund. He tucked the bouquet there like an offering. Maggie's chart got a line: mild dehydration, age-related weakness, electrolytes, rest, shorter walks until summer stopped pretending it was spring. Nothing dramatic, no miracle medicine, just time. They went home to a small apartment with a plant that wouldn't die and a couch that would. Aaron put a new tag on Maggie's collar, STAY, because she had, when it mattered. That week, he started carrying his own aspirin. He learned what chest tightness means when it's not indigestion. He scheduled the follow-ups he'd always cancelled. He bought Maggie a softer bed and moved his alarm 10 minutes earlier so their first walk felt like a promise, not a scramble. People stopped him to pet the grey muzzled retriever, and he told the story the way survivors do, short, with a laugh in the wrong place until he could tell it longer, with a quiet that made strangers' eyes shine. I brought her in to save her, he'd say. Turns out, she brought me in to save me. Sometimes love doesn't show up with sirens. Sometimes it sits down and refuses to move. Sometimes it hugs you so tight you notice you're slipping, and then it points, with a paw, to the part of you you've been ignoring. If this moved you, tap like, share it with someone who loves a dog, and subscribe to Next Kindness. The next story is already on its way.